In today's video, we're taking a look at 10 things you need to know before heading to your first Pokemon tournament. This is aimed at the bigger tournaments, the regionals, internationals, worlds. Those where you're going to make some traveling arrangements, you're going to go outside your usual comfort zone and attend those bigger tournaments with the more competitive players. League Cups, League Challenges are a little easier. They're normally local or somewhere nearby at least. But obviously traveling, going to these bigger tournaments, there's a few things you should be aware of. So let's start the list with the most obvious, but the most important, your deck. Now, I've got a few deck box here. Make sure you choose a deck before the event. You want to have as much practice as you can. You want to test those matchups. Make sure you're really getting it down before heading to the event. The most important thing though, once you've got your deck, triple check your list. Obviously, when you're playtesting and coming up to those events, you're going to be changing cards around. Some get unsleeved and re-sleeved. Make sure you've got 60 cards. Make sure the Pokemon that you've put on your list match exactly the ones you've got in your deck. So they need to be the exact ones. So for example, you've got a special art of Flaffy. Make sure that is represented in your deck. Double check it all. Make sure it's the same 60. All the same trainer cards and energy count. As that could be the first step where you make a mistake. And you just want to make sure you've got that down. Know what's in your deck. Know what you're playing against going into the tournament. Number 9, sleeves. Now, anytime you go into a tournament, make sure you've got a new pack of sleeves. So I am attending Liverpool in a few weeks, or depending when this comes out, it might be next week. I've bought a fresh pack of Dragon Shield. I've gone for the Nebula. Ooh, lovely colour. Probably my favourite colour. If anyone asks my favourite colour, that is what I'm going to answer from now on. Just a really nice purple. But you need a new set. Your sleeves you've used before probably won't cut it at regionals. They're going to get dinged up. They're going to get just sort of mashed up as you tend to play. So a new set is going to put you in good standing for the weekend. This is a set of 100. So not only have you got the 60 for your deck, but you've got 40 to change as you play. Because cards do get, or sleeves do get mashed up. They get bent, they get ruined. It's always important to switch those out if you're unsure. You don't want to get pulled up on something or maybe lose a game just because of your sleeves. So make sure you're on top of that. You've got a new set going into the tournament and you are ready to play. Obviously with sleeves, people are going to argue what's best. I can only go off my experience. I've been using Dragon Shield almost exclusively for as long as I've been playing. They've been the go-to sleeve for me. They've never failed. And like I say, yeah, I've got a pack of Dragon Shield ready. I'm using Dragon Shield currently while I'm testing at League Cups and Challenges. Yeah, a fresh set of sleeves going into the tournament is never a bad idea. Next up, we've got dice and tokens. They don't need to be in this adorable Trubbish bag, but I think it definitely helps. This is my dice bag. It is just full, like I said, dice, tokens, all the stuff you need to play. Make sure you've got your V-Star marker, a ton of dice, anything you're going to need, poison, burn, all of those things. Make sure you've got it all in like a handy case or like I've got here, a dice bag. It just helps. Having all of this stuff in one place, you can take your deck box out, take this out, and you are ready to play. I think it's important we do take a second to just appreciate this Trubbish, one of my favorite Pokemon, Garbodor. So yeah, I had to get this as soon as I saw it. It is one of my favorite bits of Pokemon merchandise I've come across. Coming in at number 7, I'm not going to hold anything up for this one, but food and drink. These tournaments go on for a long time. You're going to be playing 9 rounds, and then possibly if you're into day 2, you're going to be playing a ton more. You could be playing 5, 6, and then the top 8. So you are going to be playing a lot of Pokemon. Sometimes there aren't breaks. You're not going to get a chance to go out and sit and have a meal. So make sure you've got stuff like granola bars around. You've got a water bottle that you can refill. There'll normally be somewhere that you can just fill up a water bottle. So make sure you've got a water bottle. Make sure you're hydrated. I would probably avoid stuff like sweets and tanking energy drinks because you can tend to crash with all that sugar high. So I would say just go for water, hydrate. Make sure you're feeling good. Make sure you're feeling healthy. Hydrated, full is always a good way to go into a tournament, and make sure you're prepared for your matches. Number 6 is a phone, and you're going to want a phone charger, some kind of power bank as well. You can use your phone to check on the pairings, so that's always something handy. It's always something you can do in between rounds. Basically, they're going to print off sheets, and then hundreds of people are going to flock to the sheets. If you can use your phone and check those pairings, you're going to save a lot of time, get to your table, get relaxed and ready for your game. That's why I would suggest a power bank. If you're on your phone in between rounds all day, or you're just checking stuff, maybe you're messaging people, maybe you're checking a certain card interaction, maybe you're checking your resistance or your pairings, anything, all of this is going to drain on your phone. So make sure you've got a power bank ready because, like I say, it's going to be a long day. You're going to be there all day. And phone batteries aren't what they used to be. So yeah, make sure you're prepared for that as well. Not necessarily so much on the actual gameplay side, that one, but it is important to note. In at number 5, have some cash with you. It's very helpful if you need to nip out the venue. Maybe you've had a really quick round and you want to nip out the venue and grab some food. Having some money, making it easier. Just dash out, hand over some money. Some places don't take card. Most places do these days, but just to be sure. It also helps that the vendors, some of them might not be able to take cash. Maybe the signal's bad in that area. Stuff like that. It's always just good to have if you need it. You could also maybe buy a card. Maybe you've damaged a card just before the tournament and you need a replacement. There will be vendors at hand with all of that stuff you would need. Maybe you want to change your deck slightly. Make sure, obviously, you do it ahead of time and you update your deck list on RK9 so your deck list does match. But yeah, if you need to buy stuff from vendors, food, all of that stuff, cash is always good to have to hand. In at number 4, bring your trade binder. Now, I've got mine slotted in my bag here. I've always got it with me anyway, but it's great just to go through. Let's say you've finished a round, it's been really quick. Ask your opponent, have you got your trade binder with you? Maybe show them what you've got to offer. Offer up some cards. It's a good way to just get chatting with your opponent. Obviously, they're here for the same reason you are. You just love the game. Give them your trade folder. Ask politely if they've got one. And maybe you can leave the tournament with some really cool cards as well as some victories. This one isn't necessary. I just think it's really good to have because, like I say, there's so many players with the same interest as you. That's why you're all there. So it's essential for me. I didn't actually get any trades at the last regionals we attended, so my aim for this one is to get it out more and hopefully come home with some cool cards. In at number 3, pen and paper. Again, something I always have in my bag, just so you can fill out those match slips, but also the paper does mean you can take notes. So when you're playing, checking your prizes, you can make a note just so you don't forget. Obviously, you check at the start and then maybe you'll need a card later on. You can always just check that paper, see where you're at, see what cards you're missing. It's a great way not to rely on your memory. Also, between rounds, you could maybe take notes on stuff you've learned. So maybe in a certain matchup you did this and you think maybe that could help here, or it's something you should apply to that matchup in the future. Take some notes. It's going to be easier for you to digest and learn that after the tournament if you've made notes of what's been happening. Also, for some people, I like to take notes of what happened. So if I do a video, I can recap it a little easier. A pen and paper is always useful, so it's a good one to have in there. In at number 2, very simply, your Pokemon ID. You're going to need it to get in, collect your tickets. It's always good to have to hand anyway, should anything come up. So you can have it down on, you can print it as a card. You can have it noted somewhere. Again, the pen and paper, maybe you just make a note of your ID in the book. It's just good to have. It can speed certain things up and make things a bit easier. But number 1, the most important thing you should take to your first regionals, to your first internationals, is a smile. Now, I know that is cheesy as hell, but I honestly do mean it. I think everyone should be there to have fun foremost. It's a hobby you love. The people around you are there for the same reason. They love this hobby. They love Pokemon, the card game, playing it competitively. So make sure you enjoy the games. After your games, like I say, have a chat with a player, maybe show them your trade binder, talk through the game. It's one of my favorite parts of the Pokemon TCG, the community. It's just such an incredible group of people. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever had a bad experience. So make sure you're coming with that positive energy to your first event. But that's my top 10. Make sure you drop any you think I've missed in the comments below. As I say, I just want this video to be sort of a hub for the community and those players moving from like League Cups and Challenges into their regionals. Interestingly enough, I've attended a ton of sort of internationals, worlds and stuff before, but I've never actually played in the main event. I've done like side cups or side events and other things. So this upcoming weekend or in a few weeks, Liverpool is going to be my first ever regional. So I will be doing a video on that. If you want to see any of it, make sure you are subscribed. If you want to see more deck profiles, all of that about the Pokemon TCG, as I say, hit that subscribe button. That's all I've got for this episode though. So if you've made it to this point, thank you so much for watching and I will catch you in the next one.